Balagali ula bikamalihi kashafat duja bijamalihi hastunati jami'u isalihi sallu alayhi wa alihi.
Wa alaikum assalam, ya masha'Allah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa bihi nasta'een, a'unaka ya mu'min. All perfect praise be to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the world. I testify that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is Allah's slave and his messenger. I send my salutations and greetings to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his entire household, and all those who followed and still follow him to the day of resurrection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one I implore, is the one from whom I implore to send my gratitude and salutations and everything from him. May Allah be pleased with him. I also welcome everyone present here at this moment, and I commend the efforts of the organizers of this program on this platform. I would want you to believe that I'm very sure you will, concur with me and succumb to the fact that this COVID-19 has done us great. In what sense? Yeah, we believe that in any advantage, in any disadvantage, there is advantage. Just as there is fact that in every nonsense, there is sense. If the word nonsense is put on a paper, we surely see the word sense in it. So definitely, yeah, we may believe that this COVID-19 is just nonsense to us, but at least there is a little sense in it. In what sense? Now, if not for this coronavirus, there won't be something like this platform. There won't be something like this platform. Yeah, the fact that, okay, yeah, we're having our programs and this and that. So just imagine those who have learned a lot, those who have gained a lot from this platform, through the fact that there's coronavirus. I just need to commend your effort and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make his reward on you be more okay and be more huge and enormous. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible on that. Yeah, just moving to the next topic. Moving to the next thing on me, and that is the question, the topic for today. Why do I need to fast when there is someone to fast on my behalf? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the topic for today. But without too much ado, I would like to let us realize some things. I'm very sure the previous lecturers must have said something and have explained something about the meaning of fasting. Even without that, I'm very sure being a Muslim, you should be able to know what fasting is. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't, talk less about fasting. We all know what fasting means. It means that we should just exempt ourselves from, from eating, drinking, and all sorts of what may make mouth chew from the onset to the sunset. Now, we all know that. And the answer, because the topic is in form of a question, while the answer to the question is just vivid and is not, that hard, and it's very straightforward. The answer to it is no. It's not permissible for someone to fast on behalf of another person. Just that there are some exceptions that we need to talk about, and that's why this topic is being, given to a lecturer to try to, make explanations on it. There are exceptions on why someone should be, or should fast on someone's behalf. But before I move, to the exception of that, I would like us to know that fasting, as I've said earlier, that fasting on behalf of someone else who is still alive is invalid, is not valid. If the person is able to fast, he should do it just in accordance with the saying of the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran 2, verse 183, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about making it mandatory on us to fast. He says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala allazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun ayyaman ma'dudatin. Now, before I move to the next verse, the first verse says that Allah has made Ramadan mandatory on every Muslim and Muslimah, that we should all fast. It is a must for us to fast. It is a must for us to fast. And the reason and the purpose of why Allah said we should fast is that to increase our fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How well have you that fear of Allah before Ramadan? So during Ramadan, how do you fear Allah? And after Ramadan, how do you fear Allah? But the fact that you're in the month of Ramadan and you find out that you are blessed to be part of these, to be part of those people who fast in this month of Ramadan, that has made it mandatory on you to fast, just for you to, to have that increment in fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, can you now imagine someone who is fasting on behalf of another person? Would that person have that fear of Allah in him too? Is it possible for me as a man to help someone to fear Allah on behalf of another person? Like the person is doing something else, maybe the person is not, is not fearing Allah, and he asks me to do that. Is it possible? It's not possible. Just as that is not possible, definitely fasting on behalf of another person is not possible. However, if the person is unable to fast, then his inability, like the fact that, is not capable of fasting, like he doesn't have that ability to fast. Yeah, these may come in two ways. The first one is probably his inability to fast is either temporary or chronic. Some people do have that sickness in them, and the sickness is temporary. For example, probably you are having a headache or your stomach ache, and this is getting too serious, and it's about time for fasting. Allah said, أيام معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى. That is, if you know that you are sick and you are not capable of fasting, you can just, make it up some other days after Ramadan. You can just leave the fast, for that day. Yeah, just that's because it's if the sickness is temporal. But if the sickness is chronic, like as in the sickness is not lasting anytime soon, it means you must, stop fasting, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, He doesn't want any burden on us. He doesn't, wish for us any difficulty. He wants ease for every human, for every Muslim. You understand? So it means that if you know that you are having a temporary sickness, then drop the fast for that period and make it up in the after Ramadan. But if the the sickness is probably out of ulcer or some other chronic sickness like that, you can just dump the fast. Now, what are the things if you're not fasting? What are the things to be done as prescribed, as ascribed by the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the Quran? Allah says that if you know you can fast and probably is not intentional, you unintentionally do not fast. It means you have to feed the needy. So in Sharia, that means you have to feed a poor person for a day. If you're not fasting for up to 15 days, it means you should know that for 15 days, you have to, provide, you have to feed a poor person who doesn't have food at home. So, this should ring in our brain that why is it that God said we should feed someone who is in need of food? Yeah, you as a person, you are fasting. And the purpose of you fasting is to increase your taqwa, to increase your fear of Allah. And now you're not fasting. And you are asked to, feed someone who is fasting. That means that the taqwa in you at that moment will increase, in the sense that you will think of someone who doesn't have something to eat. Someone does not have anything to eat for iftar, nothing to take for sahur. And you have that ability to do that, and the other person can fast, but you cannot fast. Definitely, you will have that increment of taqwa in you. I hope you are getting this. So that is why they said that, 2 reasons for not fasting. The first one, as I've said earlier, is temporary. If you're having a temporary reason why you're not fasting, probably because of a sickness, a temporary sickness, yeah, you can make up, you can drop the fast for that day. You can, stop fasting for that day and make it up after Ramadan. But if that sickness is chronic, you cannot fast. You should not fast. Allah does not, make it mandatory on you. Now, as I've said, I said if it is, I've said that. Now, talking about fasting on behalf of someone. So that's where we are coming back to. We're still coming back to that, but I'm trying to explain some things just for us to get those who should fast and those who should not fast. Now, you are asked to fast on behalf of someone. It is not permissible Islamically to fast on behalf of someone. Probably the person is sick, or the person is not around, the person is alive. You are not permissible to fast for anybody. That's it. Now, because a point or a hujjah, a clear point for this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that you cannot carry the burden of another person. On the day of judgment, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. It is never possible for you to what? To let someone be judged on your own behalf on the day of judgment. We all will carry our body. We all have our luggage to carry. For example, you want to be on a journey, you're traveling to probably America, or you're coming from America to Nigeria, you hold your luggage. So that means on the day of judgment too, that luggage is all your deeds. So it is never possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to tell you that, okay, yeah, you're highly welcome to our midst by bringing your luggage, but wait, let me collect your luggage and give it to another person. Just as that can never be possible, so it is not possible for someone to fast on behalf of another person. Yeah, what is now the exception? As I've said earlier, I stated something like exception earlier. So the exception is someone who is dead, a dead person. Now, a dead person, this is where the exception is. You know, I said that it is not permissible for you to fast on behalf of another person. Now, it is permissible here, exceptionally, someone who is dead, a dead person, and the person died before Ramadan or in Ramadan. Maybe, for example, a day or, you know, or a day before Ramadan or Ramadan. Ramadan, when the start of Ramadan, the person now, you know, died. So you can make up the fast for him. Now there's now these, you know, divergent opinions. Some people, some of the scholars, Islamic scholars, especially the al-muhaddithun, al-fuqaha, the ahlul fiqh, those who, you know, you deal with Islamic jurisprudence, and those who go with Sharia, Islamic Sharia, you understand? So they go to the fact that if someone dies and you want to make up his fasting, 30 people can make up the fast in just a day. جاز ذلك الفقهاء وأهل الشرع وأهل الشريعة. They go to that, and they concluded on the fact that you can all fast for someone on behalf of someone. You are 30, just find yourself, gather yourself and make yourself 30. The person who hasn't fasted, who is not fasting, who hasn't been fasting before he died, understand? So make sure you fast on his behalf just for that day. So that is, you know, that is acceptable. But if the dead person has the opportunity to fast, but he neglected to do so, that is different. That's another case. The first one I just mentioned, the first one I just explained. There is one example I will give. When a man went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he went to the Prophet and he now asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Muhammad, matat ummi. Oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my mom dies. My mom had died now, and he has fasting that he hasn't, he hasn't made up. She had fasting that she hasn't made up. Is it possible for me, or is it permissible for me to make up the fast? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him that yes, just as it is mandatory on you to pay the debt of someone who has died. Just as it is mandatory on you to, to make up the debt, to pay the debt of someone who just died, that is how it is mandatory on you also to make up the person's fast. If the person is what? Make sure you note this. If the person is not intentionally fasting, if the person didn't intentionally fast before he died, so you have to make up the fasting for him. But if you see someone, some people are normally scared of fasting. They will just tell you that, hey, I don't think I can make up this. They will probably lie of chronic ulcer, something, anything like that. They will just come up with one fake certificate or whatever it is that they're not fasting. They're not just fasting. They don't want to fast. That's not it. So if you are in this position, like you are intentionally not fasting, and you ask someone to fast for you, it is never possible. Or the person dies and the person intentionally didn't make up his or her fast before he died, the person should make sure the person should be made up fasting for. So that is another thing about that. So there is another thing, just as a salat, all the scholars of this Islamic jurisprudence, they believe that you can't make up salat for another person, dead or alive, alive or dead, you can't make up salat for him or her. You can't make up fasting for him or her. Some, there are divergent opinions on this. Some scholars like Imam Shafi'i and Imam An-Nawawi, they condemned the fact that you can make up a fasting for who? For the dead. While Al-Hanafi and Al-Hanbali, they go to the fact, they reach, the conclusion to the fact that no, you can't make up a dead person's fast. So that is that about that. I think another thing to talk about this is that, yeah, when you are, for example, you are blessed, or maybe you've been asking Allah for something and you have not been given that thing for a long period of time, and Allah eventually does the actual thing you are asking him you've been asking him for a long period of time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually does it for you, and out of happiness, out of joy, out of elation, you now promised Allah that, Allah, thank you for this. I am going to fast. I am going to make a fasting obligatory on me, apart from Ramadan. Talking about, I'm not talking about Ramadan here, just talking about some fasting and a way that you can make up someone's fast. Now, the person, and you are there, the person now, promise Allah that, Allah, for what you just did for me, I will fast. And eventually, before the sun sets, the person dies. And you were there when he was making the promise. You have to, make up the fast for him, because that is as if the person has a debt, and you must, you must pay up the debt. So that is it. And I've said something about this Ramadan. Ramadan, as we all know, is Dawa al-Insaniya. Oh, I think I was told earlier to mix English and Yoruba together, but I'm very sorry. I'm making it strictly in English language. I would like to, mix it now. Now, gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí mo ti ń sọ bọ̀ ní àtàárọ̀, tí a gbà pé àwẹ̀ nínú tí àwẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe fún wa, àwẹ̀ jẹ́ ògùn tó fẹ́ kí ọ gbogbo àwọn nǹkan kan lára wa, body fitness and some other things. Some ladies, like to deworm. Some people just like to, lose weight and everything. This is fasting for you. If you want that, fasting is gonna do it for you. And now just imagine someone who is fasting on behalf of another person. Just imagine, is it possible for the person to lose weight and you are the one, fasting on his behalf? It's not possible. Just as that is not possible, as I've been saying, it is not possible, it is not permissible for you to fast on behalf of another person. It is never possible. So we have to take note of this. We have to make fasting, as it is being mandatory on us, we have to make it also mandatory on us. We have to see it as a burden that we shouldn't lie. If we lie, Allah says, "As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi." So fasting is for me and on me. Wa ana ajzi bihi, and I will be the one to do what? To bring, to pay, to give the reward to someone who fasts. So we all, see ourselves as, Muslims who fast. Only God knows who fasts among us. That's just the fact. We all come out. Probably the person who comes out has taken something inside, as eating something, has drank water or something like that, and if you come out and tell you that today's fasting is very, 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 very serious. Today's fasting, out of the weather, the harsh weather, today's fasting is somehow so serious, and he has taken something inside. You can't know or because you don't see the inside of him. But Allah said he is the only one who owns fasting, and fasting is only on him and for him. He's going to reward everyone who fasts accordingly. So you can see that. So now they're saying that as Asawmu Dawal Insaniya, fasting is a cure to all our body. If we have, some things in our body, like, excess of food and some out of the excess of food and some other things, and we are adding weight and everything, and you want to lose weight, fasting is here for you to, to lose that weight. Even though you won't have that intention of losing weight only because of fasting, you fast just for you to increase in what? In fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should know this. Back to the question says that I'm trying to recollect the question. Yeah, the question says that why should I fast? Why do I need to fast when someone can fast on my behalf? All the points stated above, all the points stated earlier are all going straight to the fact that you cannot fast on behalf of another person, except for some exceptions. Now, I now stated the exceptions. I'm trying to conclude my lecture to allow questions and answers session to come up after this. Now, it is permissible. No, it is not. It is not. It is never permissible for you to fast on behalf of someone. That's the first point. But there are exceptions, as I've stated earlier. The first one is that if someone dies and the persons didn't make up the fast before he eventually died, so you can make up for him. If someone intentionally didn't fast, his own case is different. His own case is very different. It has no reason why he's not fasting. He's just not fasting. His own case is different. So only God can, lead him and put him through. But you can't fast on his behalf if the person is alive. But if the person is dead, you have to make up the fast. And just like, you owe someone money and you want to pay back, and you didn't pay back before you die, and those people after you, your offsprings probably, or your family, will have to make up the payment. So I think with this, I'm able to give answers to the question that stated that why do I need to fast when there is someone who can fast on my behalf? No one can fast on your behalf. You just have to fast on your own, because you can't carry another person's burden on you. Your own burden, your own luggage is yours. Yours is yours, his is his. So we all have this. I think I will have to conclude and come to the end of the session. I really appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you very much. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Okay, salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, this is Abdulazim calling from Qatar. My question goes like this. Well, you know that female Ramadan is not always complete. So how will I know if the deceased have complete or repay the Ramadan she missed during the Ramadan, but she couldn't witness the next Ramadan? So how will I know if she has repaid the Ramadan she missed during the previous Ramadan? So do I need to repay the fasting or what? According to the lecture the Ustaz gave.
Okay, I think the question here is someone is dead and the person missed last year Ramadan, but we are not sure whether that person has paid it back before death or they have not paid. How will she know? Or should she just assume that the person have not paid, or what?
yeah, this is why it is necessary for everyone to, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said something. He said that before you go to bed at night, make sure you see yourself as someone who is not gonna make the next day. Do you get it? So see yourself as a product of death today and not tomorrow. You understand? So if you have any debt, make sure you are telling people that I have this, I have that, I haven't, paid this, I haven't paid someone, and something like that. And now the person has died, we don't know. So you've answered the question yourself, ma. You don't know. That is there is no, burden on that. You have no business with someone who you don't know of, who you are not sure of, and everything like that.